Hello, everyone. My name is Stephanie Molden. I am part of our sales and marketing team here at PC Matic. We appreciate everyone on the call that's joining us today to learn more about the VPN. I have Jeff York joining me. He is our Director of Customer Support. He's very knowledgeable in the VPN, and he is here today to talk to you more about what a VPN is, what it can do for you, the importance of the VPN, and then how to use the PC Matic VPN. So with that, a few notes for you that are on the call. If you've got questions for Jeff or myself as he goes through the presentation today, you can use the chat function or question. Those are both located up in the upper right-hand corner of this broadcast. There's a chat and then there's a question box. So feel free to put anything in there and we will either answer those as we go through the presentation today or we'll save time at the end to discuss. With that being said, we'll also, stick around till the end because we'll have a survey that will pop up that will give you the opportunity to give us feedback. And then, of course, ask any other maybe technical questions you may have about your overall general PC Matic account. With that being said, I will go ahead and hand it over to you, Jeff, to get us started with the VPN presentation.
All right. Thank you very much. As she said, I am Jeff York. If you have ever submitted a ticket, there's a strong possibility that you may have seen my name somewhere, either asking how we did, or if your issue was difficult enough, it may have been escalated my way. So if this is the first time I'm seeing you, nice to meet you. If not, nice to see you again. And today we're going to be covering the VPN, as Stephanie has said, but we're going to go at it from a different angle. First, I want to kind of show you guys exactly why you should have a VPN if you do not already, and what a VPN does, but sort of use more real-time examples so it's a little bit easier to digest. And then we'll kind of go over what our program looks like, how you can set it up, and some common answers for technical difficulties that some people have run into in the past using the application. So without further ado, I'll get started now. So what exactly is a VPN, and how does it work? The VPN is essentially a secure tunnel from which from your computer to the content that you are trying to browse. There's a little diagram. This one is more of a technical diagram. We have much easier to digest stuff coming, in the future slides. But just a rough overview. So you have the user device, the client VPN. The client VPN is the actual VPN program on your computer, and then there is a secure tunnel built from that client VPN to your own internet service provider's router, and then to then it routes itself to a special secure VPN server, and then the traffic makes its way to whichever website you were attempting to browse. And this way it keeps your traffic secure, anonymous, and keeps eyes and hands off any cookies or information that can be stolen during the browsing process. So why use a VPN? These are a couple reasons. Obviously, privacy, as I indicated, security. It encrypts your connection and information. So as you're browsing the internet, there's always information that comes from your computer, sort of almost like a user profile of what you like to look at. What was the last thing you've seen? What was the last thing you purchased? These items are just follow you along, which are called cookies. We'll get into that later. But with a VPN, your cookies will not be taken by whichever website you are trying to access or visit, which is a very good thing. Which keeps, if you're not carrying the cookies with you, then that means they can't be intercepted and used later on. It also helps you access geographically based content, meaning you can look at stuff that is in a different country. Say if you were on YouTube and you had a Swedish server, you would see Swedish YouTube and things like that. Also avoid censorship if there are certain things that are sporting events or whatever that are not being shown to you or censored to you. you can view them using a VPN, which masks your location essentially. So why use a VPN? So you're at home and you want to purchase some things. So we're going to use an example of online shopping, which is something everybody does, especially around the holiday seasons. So I feel like this is a pretty good real world example. So as you're wanting to purchase something, your computer is going to have to send your request for goods all the way, let's say, to Walmart.com, which we're going to use in this example. So whenever you're sending, if you look at this little diagram, you're sitting at home and you're going to send a request all the way over here to Walmart.com. So your request is going to travel these seas all by itself, all the way from your house to that other island. And so whenever you're sending a request, I mean, anything that you do online, you're essentially filling out sort of an order form or a digitalized order form. And this order form contains your from address. It contains your who you are, your identity, your profile, things that you've looked at, as I indicated before, what you've looked at before, what you've looked at, most recently. And these things are called cookies. So these cookies are essentially your order form. You're sending a request from your house to the other island of Walmart.com. And as you see, this is just similar to just throwing out a message in a bottle. That's about as secure as you are, with you just going from your regular computer to the Walmart.com website. Now, why that's not such a good idea is there are so many things that could happen to that little message in a bottle in between your home and Walmart.com. You have pirates that are out there to steal, cyber criminals that are out there to steal your cookies, your information, your payment information, try to find out where you are and try to gather even more information for future scams. There's just so many things that could possibly happen, and you're without browsing or shopping without a VPN, you're leaving yourself open to all of the threats. In this case, since we're using the ocean as our example, this is sort of some some oceanic risks that you would have if you're traveling from one island to the next. A VPN essentially will create a private tunnel for you. So rather than you just sending the little message on a bottle and leaving it up to risk of everything that's out there in the sea, you're sort of creating a private tunnel that all of those risks can't gain access to, or can't gain access to the pirate sharks, waves, everything. So it guarantees safe travel from your content, your order form request, from your house to your desired website. And to make things even more secure, it doesn't go straight from your home to Walmart.com. Your order request goes from your home to a VPN server. Now, within this VPN server, your content is not only encrypted, put in a lockbox, jumbled around so it can't be deciphered even if it was stolen. It also masks the address. So now this order form no longer contains a sender address. So they have no idea exactly what the IP address is of the person who sent this request. So all of your information is protected. All they know is that this user account would like this item. And that is all they know. They don't know what computer you're on. They don't know what the IP address or address of which is the internet address of the computer that sent the request. They don't know anything. It definitely jumbles it up, and it also, instead of saying that the connection from the server to Walmart.com is now from the VPN server to Walmart.com. And the VPN server can be in any country, any state, and this is where so the secure tunnel is built in. Now, not only is there a secure tunnel, there's also all of your information is secured and hidden and now masked. So the digital order form has been altered as I indicated. The info is encrypted. Location from which the request is coming from is the VPN server and not your home. That's the biggest real world example for what is exactly happening when you shop using a VPN. So now, as I indicated before, the request is bounced between several servers. Each VPN system has multiple servers. Ours has quite a few different servers. So your request will be bounced around from one server to the next. So even if somebody was able to spend all the time to try to crack the data from one of these servers, there are still several other in this whole long chain that they have to get through. So it makes it virtually impossible to gain this information and decrypt it. Why is it important to mask the order form or the cookies? And that's because of social engineering. So I kind of wanted to include this portion. Social engineering is one of the leading forms of identity theft, or you know, taking your money, accessing to your bank account, accessing and ordering things from a certain, like an Amazon account or a Walmart account. Social engineering is how this happens. And why is it dangerous? Is social engineering essentially tricks you, the user, into giving them the keys to the front door. And they do this by gaining as much information about you as possible. And the information that they're using to build this scam is gained from these cookies and these things that these websites have. So anytime you see a data breach online, or a certain website or a certain company who had a data breach, not only is your login information in there, but also any cookies that were deposited there during your browsing session. And these cookies will include information that can be used so that the scammer can manipulate you into thinking that you need to do something. For instance, certain cookies could have your purchase history. So say if you had to purchase shoes at a certain store, well then the scammer would then create some sort of a letter or email that said, "Hey, your shoe order isn't going to be completed until you re-verify your credit card." So they'll know this, and they'll know if they just put together a little fake little request to verify your payment information through the company that you just made a purchase from, that they'll have your credit card information. So there's nothing running on the computer that is malicious, that antivirus would see, that some other protection would see, because they are tricking you just to giving them the keys to the front door. It would be the same as if you had a security system in your home, and that's great. But if you were to give a robber the code to your security system, that the security system is null and void, because they can just walk right in, punch in the code, and take whatever they want, and they'll never be caught. So set between 70 and 93% of all residential and business level data breaches are because of social engineering, where somebody has tricked somebody into giving them the information. And the only way they could do that is if they know something about you. If they don't know anything about you, then it makes it a lot more difficult for them to trick you. If they said, for instance, say you just purchased a pair of shoes, and if you were to get that same scam email, and instead of saying the order for your shoes is not going to go through, if that email said instead, "Hey, the order for the football that you just ordered is not going to go through, verify your payment method," well, you think to yourself, "I didn't order a football, this must be fake." So without the information, their attempts to socially engineer traps and scams are registered null and void. They don't have enough information to trick you. So this is another reason, one of the bigger reasons why a VPN is so important. All of this information is stored on cookies, which is in your browser. This is a way of life. You can't avoid them. They just are there. But when using a VPN, your cookies stay right there. And the cookies that are required to make the purchase are encrypted. So there's no way for them to have access to your cookies, because you're not taking them with you, and they're in the secure VPN tunnel. They're not available to be stolen. So how do you use our VPN? So hopefully that was not too confusing of a real world example. I try to keep it as simplified as possible. Now I kind of want to break down exactly how you would use the PC Matic VPN. First, obviously, you install everything. Everything always starts with the installation process. If you have a Windows 10 device or a Windows 11 device, you will be using PC Matic 5. PC Matic 5, fortunately, has every different additional program that we offer is already integrated into the product. So if you've ever installed PC Matic 5, you've also installed all the other products. You just, whenever you purchase them, you're just activating them. So whenever you install PC Matic 5 and you purchase the VPN, all that's going to happen is you could click the VPN tab, and it's going, rather than asking you to purchase it, it's now going to show you a screen that allows you to begin using the program. If you are brand new to PC Matic and you're installing everything from scratch, once again, you just install PC Matic 5, and that is how you will begin using the VPN. If you're using Windows 8 and below, or the PC or iOS, iPhone, or Android, you will be using their individualized standalone VPN app. In which case, it's the exact same thing that you would do with the PC Matic app or standalone PC Matic program. You install it, you log in with the email and password that you used to create your account. This information is your login. This information is what activates your paid account on any device. Once you have installed and logged in or clicked the VPN tab on your PC Matic 5 program, you will have access to the VPN program. So this is exactly what you'll see if you do have an active program and a VPN is currently turned on. The integrated VPN tab will have what server you're currently connected to in the upper left, the ability to disconnect or connect depending on if you're not connected or if you are. If you look over on the right hand side, it will show your download speed and upload speed, as well as what current protocol you're using on the VPN. We'll go over protocols real briefly in just a little bit later. And then there's also a list of servers on the bottom left and the map to kind of give you an idea of where these servers are located. And what that means is how it says connected location Atlanta, United States. That's what the web page would see. So even if you're in, say, Iowa, and you were connected to an Atlanta server, whoever you were connecting to would think that it was a device in Atlanta. They would have no idea where this connection is coming from. So this is what happens if you click the VPN tab and you're not connected. So as I was describing earlier, it looks a little bit different. It actually shows the location of where you are, your real location. No, there's obviously no upload or download speed. It will still give you the map and the recommended location list, but it looks just a little bit different. The server tabs, if you were to go ahead and click the server tab at the top, it's going to give you a list of locations. You could choose and scroll that. You can filter that list by country. You can also just scroll through manually and take a peek at what server you want to connect to if you don't choose to connect to the fastest automatically. If you look at this list, it's going to have the city, which is what city the end user or the website is that you're going to is going to see from you. And it also has a percentage. That is the server load. That load means how many people are currently on that server. So the Ashburn server that's sitting at the top, that means it is currently at 23% of its maximum server load. So the best practices, if you're hand-picking a server, is to find a server that's closest, and this is just for speed, to find a service that is closest to you with the smallest server load. And that would be your ideal selection. If you clicked on the settings tab, which is right beside the servers tab, you'll have a couple additional options. You'll be able to change your protocol. The protocols are the way the VPN is encrypting your data. So each protocol encrypts your data a little bit differently, and it chooses a different route. So one protocol may decide to go in a figure eight with as it bounces your requests from server to server, and one may choose to go in a more linear route and do a different method of encryption. It's not it's not important exactly what the protocol is doing, but it is just to know that it is choosing how it encrypts your data. And the reason we bring this up is some websites may have an issue with certain protocols, so a quick fix is always just to switch the protocol. We'll go over that in a little bit more detail on future slides. I kind of wanted to go over the different protocols a little bit deeper. So there are 3 protocols you could switch to. WireGuard is our newest one. It's the fastest. It's focused on speed. The reason it is also the default, and the reason we choose the default is because, like I said, it's the newest and fastest, and you will less likely not notice any lag when you're using the VPN on WireGuard protocol. The reason there is only one con to it, and that is because it is new. There are some servers that have yet to adopt it, so you may have a rejection when visiting certain sites. It's not happening very frequently, but it is possible. Like I said, because it is new, hasn't been around as long. So the longer something has been around, the more sites that accept it. All of the bigger sites have obviously already accepted it, but some of the smaller sites may still be lagging. The IKEv2, it's very stable and secure, and that's what it focuses on: your security and your stability. It it sacrifices speed to ensure that none of your information is lost and that everything um, is is done exactly as it's supposed to. So you don't lose anything. Everything's stable. There are no ups and downs in the connection. It's a nice steady connection, um, and it's best used by mobile devices, which is also its con. Um, because of the way it operates, because of the protocol, it's mostly used on cellular phones or mobile devices as a VPN. So if you're ever in a different area and you notice maybe your VPN isn't working, switch from WireGuard to the IKEv2, and you'll probably have a much better connection. And then the last one is the OpenVPN. It's flexible, secure, and is very widely accepted. It's one of the most widely accepted VPN protocols out there, and it will fit. It will work with just about anything. The con is because it's an open source, it could cause rejection with certain very secure servers because they don't want open source. Open source means that it can be edited. Anything that can be edited has a potential to be exploited, and exploits lead to threats and attacks and things like that. So, also, it's not as fast as WireGuard. So, these 3, if you're ever in a jam where you're having a difficulty with a certain site and the VPN's rotating between protocols to see which one works best, is always a good, easy quick fix. Next, we have the auto connect settings. In the settings menu, we have 3 different versions. One is do not automatically connect. So that would require you to actually go into the list of servers and select which server you specifically want to connect to, then choose it manually. Connect to the last server. So that means even if it's not the fastest or quickest, you're going to connect to the exact same server every time it automatically connects. It's going to connect. Say if you were connected to Ashburn and you selected this, that means every time it's going to connect to Ashburn, whether it's the fastest available server or not. And then the next one is connect to the fastest server, which is going to find the fastest server in that list and connect to it automatically whenever your computer is turned on. So auto connect means that as soon as you turn the computer on, you don't have to open PC Matic. It's going to be as soon as you turn the computer on, your VPN is going to be connected and running. And as a request we had, added split tunneling back. We had it on the standalone version. We still have it on the standalone version, but the integrated version did not include split tunneling. This was recently added back to the integrated version. What is split tunneling? Split tunneling allows you to connect to certain websites that don't allow a VPN connection without having to turn off your VPN, basically. Um, and I bring that up because some websites, such as banks, stock trading websites, maybe betting websites, things like that, that have a geolocation security protocol set up on their website, meaning they have to identify the location of the computer that the connection is being made from. Well, obviously can't let you connect if you're masking or hiding that. Why it's important to a bank? If it's definitely part of security. Um, if you have a bank account in Virginia, you would not like it if your bank knew that there was a connection being made from California and was never checked or stopped at any point. Because obviously that is a red flag if you're accessing an account for a customer who has a Virginia license or a Virginia um, address on file, but there is a random connection being made from California. That's usually an indicator that something is afoul there. So because of that, if you have your VPN, you're turned on, you're probably going to have issues with your bank. Your bank's not going to allow you to connect. And this is where split tunneling comes in. You'll click the settings tab and then click split tunneling, and then you'll add the URL or web address of your bank to the split tunneling list. Once you do that, restart the VPN, and then the next time you access your bank, you won't have any issues connecting because the VPN will show your bank your actual address as opposed to you having to turn it off and on whenever you visit a secure website. And we'll go back to the quick fixes to kind of wrap this up. Um, some of the most common issues that we have encountered since the VPN has been rolled out are a slower internet connection, unexpected website performance, meaning maybe certain parts of the website or certain downloads won't be available, certain buttons operate differently, uh, or you purchase a VPN with a different email than the PC Matic subscription, um, and consistent disconnection with the internet. So for the first three, well, the first two and the last one, those can all be fixed by going into settings and trying either a different server or trying a different protocol until and you try a different one until whatever you are trying to fix finally happens. So if it's a slower website or unexpected performance with a website, you're not allowed to click a certain button. Try a different protocol, try a different server, and then whenever you switch one of them, try to click that button or do whatever it is on that website that you're not able to do. Try it again after you've switched the server and protocol, and 9 times out of 10, that's going to fix the problem. If it doesn't work, then you just submit a ticket to the help desk. Or you could just send an email to help@pcmatic.com and it'll generate a ticket for you. Yeah, the third one is something we are going to have to help you with because if you use one email for your PC Matic program and then purchase the VPN at a later date using a different email, when you're using PC Matic 5, the integrated version, it's not going to show on the screen that you have purchased the VPN yet because if your PCMatic.com, your PCMatic 5 address is a yahoo.com address and you purchase the VPN with a Gmail address, those two aren't the same. So your VPN is the active license is under Gmail, but your PCMatic 5 is showing a Yahoo. So you're going to have to basically switch your VPN purchase or VPN login email to match whichever one your PC Matic 5 is listed under or your regular PC Matic antivirus is listed under. That one you can't solve yourself in most cases. You just reach out to the help desk and tell them exactly what happened, and we'll switch it for you. Obviously, we'll make you verify some information to make sure you're not a scammer and trying to access somebody's account and change it. But after that, we'll fix it for you and you'll be ready to go. And that is all we have. I think we've reached the end. Not too bad. 30 minutes.
Perfect timing. Thank you, Jeff. That was all very good information. I even learned a few things too, so I'm glad I sat in on that. I'm a VPN user, love it, but don't know everything about it, so that was super helpful. We do have a few questions in the chat that I thought I would bring up.
Excellent.
See if you have an answer for. They all are related to the VPN. So first one came in from Debbie. She asked about the VPN on her iPhone. So she's got one on her phone and she can't connect to the internet. So is there a setting in there on the iPhone VPN app that would prevent her from doing that she needs to go in and look at? Or
Yeah, that would be going back to the protocol thing we were just talking about. And I would switch if she opens up her app, clicks the gear shaped icon at the bottom, which is settings, and then you'll see protocols. Switch to the IKEv2 protocol and restart your phone, and you should have no issues after that point.
perfect.
And it's just a matter of changing between protocols and changing between servers whenever you encounter a weird issue like that. And typically, there's either some geolocation issue with that website, with their server security, or they just don't like the protocol and the way we're encrypting the data. So.
Okay, awesome. So Debbie, there you go. If you have any other further questions, we will shoot an email out to everyone after this with contact info for the tech support team, so you can always reach out to them directly if you need some written instructions or need additional help. So that was that one. Kathy actually had a question on the quick connect, which you talked about those settings there for a second. She found that it was working a few days ago. However, it's no longer connecting. So is there anything she needs to do to be able to connect that you're aware of just from hearing that?
Off the top, it would be the easiest option would be to turn quick connect off, restart the computer, and then turn it back on, and then restart the computer immediately after. And then instead of opening the PC Matic app, the first thing you should do is in the bottom right hand corner of your computer, you'll see the time, date, volume. There's a little white up arrow. Click on that and it's going to show you your background running apps. And you should see a grayed out version of the PC Matic VPN icon. And if you hover your mouse over it, and if it says connected, you're good to go. You don't even need to open the PC Matic UI to view it. And so what could be happening, one of two things could be happening is, one, there could be an issue where the VPN is slowed down and it's not actually displaying the correct information in the user dashboard. So there's a delay and it's causing the user dashboard information to be slightly behind what's actually happening. So if you hover your mouse over that VPN icon and you see disconnected, well, then you need to open a ticket and there's something else at play here, something with these scheduled tasks. And that's not an easy answer. So we'd have to get a little bit more information before we could dig into that any further. But the quickest option, turn auto connect off, restart the computer, turn it back on, restart it, hover your mouse over the VPN icon, see if it says connected before you do anything else.
Okay, yeah, sometimes the simplest fix is just a restart. So if that doesn't work, again, be sure to reach out to the tech support team and they can help walk you through it. This may be another protocol question, Jeff, but James came in and said he's having trouble accessing a local printer when connected to the VPN. So again, is there a way around that issue? Does that have to do with the protocol, or is there something else that would be going on there?
It could have something to do with the protocol, and it could also be the printer. I know a lot of these printers, especially Wi-Fi printers, will want to identify that the device is connected to the same exact Wi-Fi, and the VPN itself is going to um, connect through the VPN agent on your computer, and then from the VPN agent, it's already encrypted. Then it goes to your Wi-Fi. So that therein might be the disconnect. If there's something about the protocol that you're currently using that the printer does not like, you could also use split tunneling in this instance. So you could click on the gear-shaped icon, hit settings, and then go to split tunneling and find your printer in the list of applications and select your printer as an application to add to your split tunneling list, which would mean anytime you looked at the printer, your printer connected to your computer, it would not be going through the VPN protocol. It would be going right through your regular computer stuff. So I would try a different protocol. If that doesn't work, try split tunneling the printer. And if all else fails, also open a ticket.
Perfect. We'll finish with Tom's questions. He asked if you buy VPN for your computer, if you can use it for your phone. I can answer that by saying yes. Correct, Jeff? If you buy the VPN license, it will work both on your computer and your phone. It'll obviously be a different installation process. As whatever phone you're using, you'll have to go into download that app through whichever app store, depending on what phone you use. But the license will work for your computer and your phone. And then you also had a question about VPN creating problems with using your Roku. I can't see why that would cause any problems right off the bat, right, Jeff?
No, because the VPN is not, it's running from your computer and is dealing with your computer's connection to the internet. Unless you're routing the Roku through your computer, it should not affect anything.
Right. Perfect. So to end us off here, again, you guys will all receive an email from us with additional resources, the recording of this webinar, and just resources for your support team as well. So with that being said, if you are a VPN customer and have the PC Matic antivirus as well, you have access to phone support too. So feel free, to give that support team a call. You can find that number in your PC Matic app. And then if you're interested, even with questions for your Roku, Tom, for things that are outside of the VPN, things that don't have to deal with PC Matic, we've got Support Unlimited. So you can always subscribe to them and they will answer questions about your Roku, your TV, any kind of other smart devices in your home that do not, again, have to do with PC Matic. So if there are any other questions that are coming through right now, we will see those questions after this call. So we'll be sure to share any of those with the support team and they can reach out to you and get answers for you. There's also a survey that will pop up after this. Please answer that. Give us any feedback that you have regarding the session, anything else. And it's another opportunity to submit any kind of technical questions you may have for our support team, and our support team will take a look at those and get back to you. So that is it. Thank you, Jeff, again, for that very informative session. Thank you all for joining. We would not be here if it were not for all of our loyal customers. So we thank you for joining. We hope you have a good rest of your day, and we will see you guys next time. All right. Bye. Thank you.